So Europe is debating its economic future. The US is doing the same. And the point of discussion here is this: should America have a sovereign wealth fund? For a change, both Biden and Trump seem to agree. They believe it's time for the US to have its own fund. And this is more than just a campaign promise. Donald Trump mentioned it during a recent campaign event. Meanwhile, Joe Biden's team has been working on it for some time. And this is the man in charge. America's National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan. Reports say he's been working on a plan for months now. Sullivan has been meeting with economic experts. They've had substantive debates on what should be the size of this fund. How will it be run? What will its leadership look like? All these questions are being discussed. But the most important one is this: why does America feel the need for such a fund? And what will the US use it for? They're yet to fully spell out their plan. Apparently, the goal is to not amass more wealth. It's about mobilizing funds to secure strategic assets. That's what this fund aims to do. Which brings us to the next question: what are strategic assets? Well, think of them as vital organs of the human body, like the brain, lungs, kidneys, the heart. Without them, no human can survive. Now think of a country as a body. Its strategic assets are like these vital organs, something that the country cannot function without. They cover a wide range of sectors, from basic resources like oil supplies to advanced technologies like space satellites. They also include natural resources, telecom networks, defense companies. All these are vital industries. If they fail, an entire country could come to a standstill, which is why they're classified as strategic. The American fund, the sovereign wealth fund that they're talking about, would aim to invest in such areas with a specific focus on national security. This could mean building ships or investing in new energy projects, stuff like geothermal or nuclear fusion projects. This fund could also be deployed for strategic stockpiles. Say America needs to build a reserve of rare earths. It could use the sovereign wealth fund to secure them. And this is not a new idea. A lot of countries do it. China has been doing it for a while. They too have a sovereign wealth fund. It's called China Investment Corporation. Using this vehicle, Beijing has invested in natural resources. The fund manages some of China's foreign exchanges, so that funding is not an issue. Same with Saudi Arabia. They have what is called the Public Investment Fund. It has over $900 billion in management. The kingdom runs these funds using oil money, and the Saudis too use this fund for strategic needs, like the Saudi Vision 2030. The brainchild of their Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, a grand plan to transform the Saudi economy, to transition away from oil revenues and towards a more diversified economy. They're working on this transition. And the Public Investment Fund, PIF, is footing the bill for it. So far, it has invested heavily in areas like telecom, aerospace, energy, and green technologies. Again, these sectors are vital for economic security. Now, America wants a similar fund to make strategic bets, and it's a good idea. But can the US afford this fund? Does it have the money? Unlike the oil-rich kingdoms of West Asia, Washington is not sitting on a budget surplus. It owes more than $35 trillion. That's the debt on the US government, $35 trillion. So where will they get more money to fund this initiative? Donald Trump says he wants to raise tariffs on imports. And that excess money from the tariffs would be used for the sovereign wealth fund. But then he's also promising tax cuts for people on the back of those same import duty hikes. As for Team Biden, they don't have a plan yet. Reports say they're considering various models, like raising money from a pool of investors. Fundamentally, it all comes down to this: should the US focus on paying its debt, or should it take more financial risk by launching a sovereign wealth fund? That is the core question. Billionaires like Mark Cuban are against the idea of a wealth fund. He's called it stupid. In fact, I have his quote with me. "I hate the idea of a sovereign wealth fund. If the government had a surplus, maybe. With a deficit, it makes no sense at all." Jared Bernstein is also wary of this idea. He chairs Joe Biden's Council of Economic Advisors, and he's not on board with this one. So the idea already faces resistance. Reports say Biden's team is keen on finalizing this proposal before his term expires. Well, they have their task cut out.